all have this set of lens through which we see the world. And I can't take this off. I don't get to do this like I just did, right? I can't remove this lens and then say, okay, I want to see things differently. I have things within my lens, my experience, my history, where I grew up, what my family structure was like, all of those pieces that impact this lens. So every experience that I have as a resident or a family member or coworker or employee or service provider is filtering that experience through their current set of lens. And I have to be willing to expand those blinders to see that there might be a different way to see it, and that my way may not be the best way. So thinking about long-term care facilities growing, the need is growing. Who's in there? Who are the residents? The baby boomers that are needing more care, that have been self-sustaining their entire life, and now they're dependent, which in itself is a really big shift for them. So when we see and interact with things that are different from us than perhaps what the rest of their lives combined has told them, it's going to bring up angst. If we don't have experience with people different from us, then it can be a really jarring experience. I'll just give you one personal one, not related to long-term care, but when I was in college, I went to upstate New York. I grew up in advertising in New York City. I went to grad school in Ohio before I moved to Minnesota to finish my doctorate. And I met a Venezuelan and we were dating, and he was a total blast. And we went on a big cruise. My parents were big cruisers, so they put these massive groups together, and we had family members and a lot of their family, a lot of her friends that were traditionalists, I mean, from the silent generation. And we got engaged on that cruise. And I thought, isn't this a wonderful, fabulous experience? And I got met with like shock by this huge group of people. And a couple of my mother's friends would pull me aside because we were very close. I grew up with them, and they said, wow, like he's really fun to date, but you don't want to hook yourself with him the rest of your life. Think about what kind of a society we live in and how you're going to limit your possibilities. I thought, wow, that is bias at the very base, right? But again, it was very different for them. They only knew him at our dinners and dancing and parties. And so it was about them trying to get comfortable with being uncomfortable. And I think that's what's happening with these residents, is that they're trying to broaden their world. They're not choosing it. It's a change that's coming at them.
Yeah.
I have to finish that story. At the wedding, the same people that came to me said, oh my gosh, we were so wrong, because now we know him. We understand him. And if you can make the familiar, the unfamiliar, familiar, that's a huge step forward, right? So, so hopefully, you know, we're all on this journey to inclusion. We're all going to be faced with things that don't agree with what our mental models tell us, but that doesn't make it wrong. It just means that we need to turn that mirror in and look at ourselves for that. And that's very difficult, I would think, for residents.